All right, let's look at example 4 now. We want to use the following method to find the distance across the river from point N to point P. So I'm going to find this distance here. Okay, place a stake at K on the near side so that NK is perpendicular to NP. Okay, so I want to place a stake here so that this is a right angle. Okay, then I want to find M, which is the midpoint of this N and K, which ensures me that this piece here and this piece here are congruent. All right, then I need to locate L, which is right over here, so that NK is perpendicular to KL, so I want to make a right angle here, and that L, M, and P are all collinear. So they are all on the same line. Well, if these are all on the same line, and these are all on the same line, then this angle and this angle have to be congruent, so vertical angles are congruent. Explain how this plane allows you to find the distance. Well, what I have here, without all the mess, guys, it's not a very good drawing. Right angle, right angle. Clearly this isn't to scale. Vertical angle, vertical angle. This side and this side's congruent, so we have angle, side, angle. These two triangles are congruent. Okay, and then once I know those two triangles are congruent, I know this side and this side are congruent. So basically, NP would be the same length as KL, which is on the same side of the river, so I could just measure that if I needed to. All right, let's look at this proof right here. So we're given that angle 1 is congruent to angle 2, which they do have marked for us. And then we're also given that angle 3 is congruent to angle 4, which they also have marked for us. Okay? All right, so with those two things there, I know it's not the end result that we want, but for those two things there, I can show that this triangle and this triangle are congruent because they share CA. So I'm going to go ahead and write that down. This is given. And then I can say CA is congruent to CA by the reflexive property. And then from that, I can say that triangle CDA is congruent to triangle CBA by the angle side angle congruence theorem. Okay, so some of you are thinking, oh my gosh, you just proved the wrong triangles are congruent. Yes, I did. But the reason I did that is because now I know that CB and DC are congruent. So CD and CB are congruent, so I can say CD is congruent to CB because these triangles are congruent and corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. Okay, now I want to show that this triangle here is congruent to this triangle here. Okay, so notice angle 1 is congruent to angle 2. I already have an angle. I've shown that this side is congruent to this side, so I have an angle and a side. And guys, if I look here, they share CE. So I can say CE is congruent to CE by the reflexive property. And now I have enough information. I can say triangle BCE is congruent to triangle DCE by the side angle side congruence theorem. Kaylee!